In the bustling town of Oduro, where red dust coated everything and motorcyclists swerved around potholes like dancers on a stage, there was a roadside food seller named Mama Iz. Her spot, a makeshift wooden shed covered with a bright blue tarp, stood at the junction where tricyclists, motorists, and civil servants passed every morning and afternoon. Mama Iz's food was simple but irresistible. Smoky jollof rice, steaming hot beans, pepper soup, and fried plantains that glistened under the sunlight. People would stop by her spot even if they weren't hungry. It wasn't long before her food became the talk of the town. However, there was more to Mama Iz's success than just her culinary skills. Years ago, when her fortunes were bleak and her children went to bed hungry, she visited an elderly woman in a neighboring village, rumored to have knowledge of dark powers. The old woman told her, "Add a little water from the clothes you wear closest to your skin. Just a few drops into your cooking pot. It will make them crave your food like nothing else." Desperation clouded Mama Iz's judgment, and she followed the instructions to the letter. At first, the results seemed miraculous. Motorcyclists who used to whiz past her stall without a glance now stopped for a quick plate. Civil servants, dressed in their starched shirts and ties, began to abandon their wives' lovingly packed lunches to eat her food. Soon customers came with their own plates, pleading for just a taste before she even opened for the day. Some would even wash plates at her stall, ensuring they had an excuse to linger. The chatter around town was always the same. "Mama Iz's food tastes better than anything my wife can cook." But beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. Husbands began comparing their wives' meals to Mama Iz's, with biting comments like, "Why can't you cook like her?" Family meals became tense, and arguments escalated. Some men outright refused to eat at home, claiming their wives' food was tasteless. Wives, hurt and confused, began to suspect something was amiss. Other food sellers in the area noticed the change too. Their once loyal customers had deserted them, and their earnings plummeted. Mama Titi, who had been selling roasted yam for years, and Alhaja Zainab, known for her delicious akara, decided to investigate. They joined forces with the wives of the affected men, pooling their suspicions. Together, they concluded that Mama Iz's meteoric rise wasn't natural. "There's something not right about her," Alhaja Zainab whispered one evening. "She came from nowhere and took all our customers. We must seek help." They approached Pastor Joel, a respected man of God, known for his wisdom and prayers. After listening carefully, the pastor nodded solemnly. "This is not ordinary," he said. "We must fight this spiritually. Gather all the wives and food sellers. We will pray and fast together." The women spent 3 days in fasting and prayer, crying out to God to expose the source of the problem. On the third day, Pastor Joel instructed them to anoint their homes, pots, and the entrances of Mama Iz's stall with blessed oil. "Whatever is hidden will be revealed," he declared. The very next day, as Mama Iz prepared her food, she felt an intense heat radiating from her pots. Her hands began to tremble, and her heart raced. Customers, who once crowded her stall, now approached hesitantly, complaining of a strange, bitter taste in the food. Some even spat it out. Panic set in, and Mama Iz realized her secret had been exposed. The men who had been under her spell began to regain their senses. They returned home, ashamed of how they had treated their wives. Many knelt in apology, begging for forgiveness. Family meals became sacred again, with laughter and love filling the air instead of arguments. As for Mama Iz, her stall became deserted. Her reputation tarnished. She had no choice but to leave the town. It was said that she wandered aimlessly, weighed down by guilt and regret. Her desperation for wealth had led her down a dark path, but it cost her everything. The town learned an important lesson: not everything that glitters is gold. Wives began to pray fervently for their husbands, covering them in love and protection. Husbands learned to value and appreciate the meals prepared by their wives, understanding that food cooked with love was far more nourishing than anything else. And the food sellers, once divided by competition, formed a supportive community, vowing never to let greed or jealousy lead them astray. In the end, Oduro returned to its bustling rhythm, but the tale of Mama Is served as a lasting reminder. Desperation can lead to destruction, and nothing good ever comes from using dark means to achieve success.
For more African folk tales and realistic stories with moral lessons, kindly like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.